Hey guys, this is Rudy for Millionaires Club. Well, you know what? We got a new name, but we're still the same people, and we still have the same interests. And I'm still Mr. Energy, or if you'd like, Mr. Roxy. I want to take a look at what's happening today because people are saying Mayday, Mayday. You know, let's kind of explore this just a little bit and sort of see what exactly it is that is going on today. So let's take a look here. Firstly, at the headline. So this is, a little bit earlier. The Dow tumbles 950 points in Monday market rout. S&P 500 is now 5% off its record high. It's a news headline, and we need to pay attention to the news because we're investors and we need to know what's going on. So the article I'm sharing with you right now says several stocks began the week deeply in the red as investors continued to flock to the sidelines in September amidst several emerging risks for the market. So firstly, investors continued to flock to the sidelines. Did you exit all your positions? Did you sell everything because today we're going to crash or something like that? Because that's effectively what that headline means. Now, I don't mean to mock them, but this is the mainstream media. And if I don't mock them, then who will? The other thing is there's always someone on the other side of every trade. Now, I'm not suggesting that if some people are dumping their stocks, that you should immediately rush in and buy the dip, because that would not be a good strategy either, because we don't know what the market is going to do tomorrow, but more about that one in just a few minutes. So the Dow Industrial Average lost 950 points, 2.8%. I haven't been tracking it all day. I just know it's been a very, very bad day. But here's the news headlines. So let's kind of just explore them for a minute. Investors fear a contagion sweeping financial markets from the troubled China property market. I have never made a decision, especially not an investment decision, based on what's happening in the troubled China property market or the troubled China IT market or whatever. Hong Kong equities saw a first big sell-off during the Asia trading session on Monday. The benchmark Hang Seng plunged 4% with embattled developer China Evergrande Group on the brink of default. I am not dismissing this because Evergrande has exposure to or is exposed from a leverage point of view to something like 270 banks. So I'm not mocking this, but this has absolutely nothing to do with the majority of my positions, even financial positions, because none of the financial institutions that I'm invested in, as far as I know, have any negative exposure to Evergrande Group, which is on the brink of default. I take no joy in their being on the brink of default, but it has no impact on my positions and my investments. So if you might have some exposure to this, I obviously don't know, but this doesn't really impact me directly. How about this one? The Federal Reserve begins a two-day meeting on Tuesday. Well, that's tomorrow, and it hasn't happened yet. But investors are worried the central bank might signal that it's ready to start pulling away monetary stimulus amid surging inflation and improvements in the job market. Well, the first part is surging inflation. I've warned about that several times. I mean, we have an administration that is completely financially illiterate based on what they're doing, not based on who they are. And by the way, that's not even a political statement, because I'm not implying the previous administration was better. I'm just talking about this current administration. The other thing is, and the improvement in the job market. Well, that's an awful negative indicator, isn't it? More and more people are being employed, so sell all your stocks. COVID cases, because of the Delta variant, which remains at January levels as colder weather approaches in North America. I'm not going to really comment on that one. All I can say is that eventually, if everyone you know has had COVID, including people who have been vaccinated, because they seem to be super spreaders, then all the unvaccinated people and all the vaccinated people end up being positive COVID cases, then we're probably going to, somewhere along the line, reach some kind of a herd immunity impact. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go there. It's too politicized. September has the worst track record of any month, averaging a 0.4% decline. Hey man, the guys, when I was young, they used to say sell in May or stay away. But September has the worst track record of any month. So I know it doesn't rhyme, but sell in September and stay away. I don't know. I don't know anyone who's actually selling. In fact, quite the contrary is true. People might be buying the dip. History shows the selling tends to pick up in the back half of the month. Investors are also concerned about brinkmanship in DC. DC is a mess, man. I don't know. I've kind of paid attention to the last 7, maybe 8 presidents. I'm not keeping score. Presidents come and presidents go, and the deep state and the bureaucrats are pretty much the same people. I mean, you have people, even when it comes to stuff like COVID, you have people like Fauci, who's been there for a few decades. People come and people go. These people are horribly inefficient, unproductive, and intellectually bankrupt. Monday's sell-off pushed the S&P 500 5% below its last record on an intraday basis. It's been a long time since the market has faced a sell-off of this magnitude as investors continue to buy the dip, with fiscal and monetary stimulus backstopping the market. All right, enough of that. You believe any of this stuff? You're selling all your stock? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. So what happened? So where are you at right now? Let me just refresh this one quickly. Well, the previous headline said 950-point drop in the Dow. It's now 740. I'm not taking any joy about that, but stocks tumble on China, US debt fight. The US is $30 trillion in debt. The bad news is everybody owes everybody. So I'm not sure who's actually going to be footing the bill somewhere along the line at some stage or another. How are my uranium stocks doing? So GoviX is down 20%, Paladin's down 12%, Denison's down 10%, Azincourt's down 10%, Energy Fuels is down 7.5%. Wow, man, that's quite a rout. So if you've been paying attention and watching my videos, you would have known that as soon as I pick up a 2 or 3 bagger, which I have on some of these, I cash out my original investment, and then the rest, which is the house's money, can just do whatever it does. I'm not going to sell any of these. In fact, the uranium market has more potential to right-size my portfolio right now than pretty much anything else. AllianceBernstein is one of my financial companies down here, 7.5% today. AllianceBernstein is one of my best performers. Year to date, I'm up over 50% on AllianceBernstein. So a 7.5% drop is like a couple of Maseratis, but at the same time, it's okay. No big deal. What else happened? Oh, that's the same slide over again. Let's look at the headlines over here, just below this. Stock market may be losing steam. Is it time to sell? No, you should have sold when it was at its high if you wanted to sell. Otherwise, you can just hold. And if you're brave, maybe you can buy the dip. Flight bookings plummet. That's kind of weird. I just booked a flight yesterday for this week. Need to travel to North Carolina. Yeah, we're still traveling. We're still doing business. So flight bookings plummet? Really? Because of Delta fears? Really? I don't know. COVID vaccine prompts strong immune response in children younger than 5. Pfizer says. Well, Pfizer says that about their own product. Their own product doesn't seem to work too good. But anyway, that's again separate topic. What else is happening? Bitcoin falls as much as 10% as risky assets tumble globally. Regulatory concerns intensify. Yeah, Bitcoin is supposed to be the anonymous store of value, which is supposed to protect you when the markets are bouncing up and down. Let's go back to Yahoo quickly for a minute. And let's see, let me just refresh this and see where Bitcoin is, because everything else is crashing. So Bitcoin is a store of value, must be holding the fort for you, right? Crude oil is down 2%, gold is up. Green a little, that's nice for people who are invested in gold. Bitcoin is down 8% to $43,000 per imaginary coin. So let's see what happens with Bitcoin. One more. What will the stock market do tomorrow? So guys, I thought, I would just share this with you because it's statistically interesting, right? If today's market is up, there is a 73% probability that tomorrow's market will be up as well. and only a 27% probability that tomorrow's market will close down. If today's market is down, there is a 62% probability that tomorrow's market will also be down, and only a 38% probability that it will close higher. Why am I telling you this? Simply because when people say, hey, the market's on sale, buy the dip, you still need to be cautious. You need to manage your money. Historically, the market has advanced on 58% of all market days, demonstrating its overall historic upward bias. Now, that's an interesting statement, right? Because if you really think about it, every single publicly traded company that we can invest in is selling something, right? Whatever it might be. And even the companies that aren't directly selling something are selling stuff, you know, like Facebook and Google selling advertising or whatever. They're not necessarily selling a product like, you know, Boeing, but everybody in the publicly traded market is selling something. Every year, those products that they sell cost you a little bit more than what they cost the previous year. Every year, they create a new product, or maybe a variation of an old product, or an upgrade to an old product, which generates maybe either additional income streams on existing products, or otherwise new income streams because they didn't generate any revenue from that before. The fact of the matter is, if you're in the market and you ask me, what is the market going to do tomorrow? The answer is, the correct answer is, it may bounce back, or otherwise it might pull back even more. Should you buy the dip? Well, how brave are you? Because when do you buy the dip? You cannot possibly try to time the market. So my message to you is this: stay patient. Don't panic. It's not Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. The 5 or 6 or 10 Maseratis I lost today are paper losses. So unless I turn that into a realized loss, I haven't lost any money. I hope, you know, at a macro level, that none of the people who have watched this far have really lost any money either. I know that it looks bad when you look at your you know, brokerage house statements and your balance today. You go like, oh my goodness gracious, you know, I've lost a lot of money today. You haven't lost anything unless you cash out and make it a realized loss. Sometimes there are good reasons for doing that, maybe not all of it, but you might want to sell some stock at a loss in order to use for tax harvesting purposes, just to cut your taxes a little bit on your realized gains, assuming you have any. But if you don't sell any stock, you don't book the gains, and you also don't book the losses. If you're holding, which I'm pretty sure most people are, don't be fooled by the fact that there's a big sell-off today, because I've spoken to quite a few people and nobody sold anything. So if you're holding, stay long and stay strong. At the end of the day, the market goes up, the market goes down, and over time, you're going to be okay. If you can reinvest your dividends, that's a nice little hedge. If you have a little bit of spare cash lying around, you might look at some of these and say, it's on sale, I'm going to buy a little bit more. Otherwise, the best thing that you can do on a day like today, if you're not buying a little bit more, is nothing. Just hold, stay long, stay strong, don't panic, okay? It's going to be okay. I'm not sure when it's going to be okay. I'm not even sure how far we're going to crash. Maybe it's a correction. We go down 10% or more, like we did before. And then over time, we'll bounce back again. So guys, I don't have any good news. All I can say is, if you're long, stay strong. Don't sell. If you sell at a loss, you're taking a realized loss. There must be a reason for you to do that. Otherwise, you're invested in good quality companies. It'll be okay. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.